Making a stitches bookmark is a fun way to test out a bunch of your stitches and create something that you can then keep for reference. We're going to start with any kind of fabric that you like, some sort of woven cotton fabric. And we're going to have two pieces. These are 5 inches by 2 inches. You can make these any size you want. I have a piece of heavy interfacing here. This is quite stiff. Now, when you are using fusible interfacing, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there are some sort of sparkly dots. That is the glue. If you look at this side, so this is not the sticky side. The sticky side is here. Make sure that you put that next to your fabric and not next to your iron. I always put my interfacing face down, and that way if there is any sticking out over the edge of the fabric, it won't stick to my iron. So place that where I want it. And when you are using an iron to apply interfacing, you want no steam, you want a moderate high heat, and you're going to press, not iron. So what do I mean? Put the iron down and press. Don't scoot it all around because you'll scoot potentially the interfacing out of place. So we're just going to hold the iron for a few seconds and see if that is stuck down. I usually do the interfacing side and then I will do the fabric side. Okay, so this is looking pretty stuck down now and we are ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do for our bookmark is we're going to finish the edge. I just used a zigzag stitch. The purpose of this project is to get to know your own sewing machine. So you can use any sort of zigzag stitch that you like that would go over the edge. I'm just going to use this regular zigzag because we should all have this one. If you have other fancier stitches, feel free to use whichever one you like. So I am just going to layer my fabric and interfacing with my other piece of fabric. Make sure that those align nicely. You could pin this if you wanted or use some little clips on the edge. These little clips are a good alternative to pins, and you can just clip them on the edge to hold your fabric in place. I'm going to use my hand wheel to make sure that my needle is going over the edge of the fabric there. And then I'm going to use my locking stitch button here to do a locking reinforced stitch. You could reverse as well if you want to. And then I'm just going to stitch all along the edge. When I get towards the corner, I'm going to go slowly until my needle comes down into the fabric at a point that looks like I should be able to turn it and carry on. Use that hand wheel anytime you feel like you need some more control, because you can really slow it down and see what you're doing. Remember, when you're using your hand wheel, you always pull it towards you. Never wheel it away from you. That's the wrong direction and it can mess up the machine. You can get tangles. You can actually throw off the timing of the machine, which would require repair. What I'm going to do is actually come over and try to align that with the first stitch that I took, and I'm going to put a locking stitch there. That'll give me a decently tidy corner. That doesn't look too bad. What happened here was I caught a bit of the thread on the edge. That is no big deal. Just pull that little fray until it won't fray anymore, and then you're just going to trim it off. It's not going to fray any further because you've caught the rest of them in the stitches. Okay, so now we've got our bookmark edged here. Now what to do in the middle? You can do anything you want. If you don't have a lot of stitches or you aren't interested in the stitches on your machine, then you could just do some whichever decorative stitch you want to do in the middle here. You can play around and do whatever you like. So I go from 1 to 3 and then count all the way up to 12. I did not do my buttonhole stitches on this. I just did a row of each. You could have a play with your zigzag stitch and do rows of different widths and different stitch lengths so that you can then refer back to them later. But that's just a few ideas of what you can do to decorate your bookmark, and then you can keep this handy. So I hope that's a fun little project for you and will help you get to know the stitches on your machine a little better. See you next time.